Alright, so in this crash course, we're gonna get into how to use Vuetify in VueJS. This is not as detailed as if we look into the Vuetify crash course, for example, where we're gonna do where we did a little bit of more things. This is a bit more simplistic, but that's also because we're getting a starter template already from the start from Vuetify that you then later on, of course, can customize. So if we just go in and click get started, you will be able to see what browsers that basically is supported with Vuetify. So we have Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Safari 10 Plus is supported. I would recommend you to be sure that your customers doesn't have IE9, IE10 before you start using it, because that would be very sad if you spend 100 hours coding in it and then 2% or 5% of your customers cannot use the website. So please take that into account before you do that. Alright, great. So also make sure you have Vue CLI installed, which you can install as described here, like this. And then we are later on gonna add in the starter template via Vue CLI by saying vue add Vuetify. And then now we can go in here and we can look at what we have and what we are gonna create. Also, this is the Vuetify documentation, so you can easily go in here and see the components and how to implement them in your website. So if you, for example, want to go in and add in the packages, you can go in here and see how to do that. Alright, great. So this is what we are gonna create. This is very simple, not very beautiful design, especially with this HR, which I'm not quite sure why I have added in. Anyways, so basically we are gonna have a chip and we're gonna be able to close that chip, and we have a button where we can just click submit and nothing happens. And then we have all of this up here. So basically the idea of this crash course is basically just to show you how to use Vuetify and how to add a component from Vuetify into it and how it is structured with the starter template. So let's get right into the coding. Alright, so let's get right into it. So let's start out by saying vue create frontend, and then let's go into the frontend directory, and then let's go in and add Vuetify. Okay, great. So what we are basically doing now is we're creating a project inside the folder called frontend, and then we are going into that folder and adding in Vuetify. So the reason why I'm gonna go with default here, by the way, the reason why I call this frontend and not something like my app or something like that is because when I create a full stack project, I'm not doing that in this crash course, but when I do that, I like to have a structure that's front end and back end, and then run the front end at its own server and the back end at its own server if I'm doing API work in that scenario. And that's basically what I want people to learn from this. This is like a bonus thing in this video, that a really good way to keep it structured is by doing this. And then as a preset, I just used the default preset. So basically we have already got some of the files inside our folder now. We actually got all of the files. So while we are waiting for this to finish by adding Vuetify, we have already created the project and seeded it into the folder. I'm gonna go in and show you what we have to work with right now. So if you open up hello world.vue, you will basically see a Vuetify version of a starter template instead of the basic VueJS starter template. And we want to make a couple of changes in here. We can already start doing that now. So first of all, you want to say welcome to this crash course, whatever you want to say. And then we want to go in here and we want to remove some of this here, and we don't really need the all these here is kind of irrelevant with all of these different kind of flex elements, because we are having so many flex elements that shouldn't really be that necessary to have that many, because we're not really working with that. We're gonna learn about some different kind of things in Vuetify in this crash course. Okay, great. So we already have the vflex and vlayout and vcontainer. So to start out by explaining, the container is basically just the thing that keeps it centered. Most of you would probably already know this if you have some knowledge of web development. And then we have the layout here, and then we have the flex where we basically create a column, and then inside here we basically add in the logo inside the asset folder here, and then we basically create a center title here, and then a subheading where we say giant millions other people on this crash course. And then what we're basically just putting in is this text you see here. So we want to remove some of the content here, because this is again some of the links that was in the flex which we don't really need. So what this course is not about is how to learn Vue. This course is about how to use Vuetify, so I'm not really gonna go much into details with VueJS unless you want me to do that. I can make another video about that. So now that we have the basic template set up, let's go in and run yarn surf. Alright, great. So what we want to go in here and say is we want to go in and create a paragraph here, and then we want to say vchip close, and then we want to basically put it in like vchip, great, and then we want to say Facebook, and then we want to go in and create a button as well. In this scenario, let's just create a HR element, and then after that create a VPTN with the color success, and then let's go in and say submit. Alright, great. So now let's wait for this to compile and then open up the website. Well, let's actually first see what the error is. Oh yeah, of course we need to close down this paragraph here. Alright, great. So what we should ideally see now is a chip with a close button and a button, and then a navigation bar and the title and the center text with the vflex layout. Okay, great. So this HR element is just purely just to put in to separate it, to make it a bit more clear. So we have the logo here, we have this very simple navigation bar, and we have this chip with a close button that doesn't actually close. So we are gonna fix that in just a second. So basically the way we can go in and fix that issue is by going in and adding a V model, and this V model is gonna call it FB chip, and then we're gonna go in data here and say FB chip is true, which means it's shown. So basically what we should eventually be able to see in here is the ability to click the close button, and then it will close down the chip. And of course you also just need to go in and do like this, and then go in here and move the column, and then go in and say return. And now when we go in here on the website, eventually it should actually work. Now just to make sure to see why this error is happening. So we of course also need to say vModel chip on the right one. And then we can also go in here and basically put this. Way up here, and structure this a bit more so it would look like maybe like this. Okay, great. So now if we go in here and refresh the page and click the chip, it should ideally close down. And of course also name the correct one. So if we call this FB chip here, it would fix the issue. Just need to wait for it to be loaded onto there. Good, great. So now we can close down a chip and we have a button. And we also have up here, we have a logo and the VI layout. And if we go in here, you will find the toolbar, which is the one where the Vuetify and the material design one is here, and the button here, and here we load in the component. So that's all for this tutorial. If you want to add in more components or something similar, you can easily do that, and go ahead and read the Vuetify documentation. Is very good, and there you will learn a lot